Rossi finds Beitashour. Beitashour 1v1 the shot. Goal! It's a goal for Steven Beitashour. And LAFC lead 1-0. Beitashour's going to flip it to the back post. Knocked down in the area and in. Diamande puts it in. We're tied at 3. Hey, with a shot towards the back post, deflected and in. It's Steven Beitashour. It's 2-1 LAFC.
So, conversation started flowing way before we started recording on this one. It's always nice. But we're finally recording. We have another episode of Nomadland. I have my co-host Yaya.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. We have special guest, good friend Steven Beitashour is here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Thanks for coming, man. Coming straight from practice.
Yeah, straight from practice.
Oh, straight
Good
from
day.
practice.
Yeah.
You don't look tired.
I am tired. Don't worry. I don't show it, but I am tired.
That's what a pro looks like.
You get to go home and rest after.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So how's everything? Doing good?
It's good. Yeah. I was just telling you guys earlier off air that we just got back from a long road trip. So we had Orlando last Saturday, so 2 weeks ago, and then this past Saturday we played up in Philadelphia. So rather than flying all the way back to Cali, we just stayed there for the entire week. So we were gone for about 10 days, which isn't usual for MLS schedule. So we're a little bit tired, and we're happy to be back.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You playing for how long? You been playing for LAFC now?
So LAFC was an expansion club last year, 2018. So I was a free agent. I came from Toronto FC last year, joined the club. So I've been here since the inaugural season. Last year was a great year. We set the record points for an expansion team with 57 points last year.
That's amazing.
So we were off to a good start, but we had high expectations for this year, and obviously, as you can tell by the standings, we're doing really well, and hopefully we can continue that run into the playoffs.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
It's exciting for the whole city. I mean,
Yeah.
this whole new spirit of a new team. I've been to a few of the games. You should definitely come check it out. Brand new stadium.
دعوت نمی‌کنی, bro.
No, we are. The invitation's lost in the mail, I think.
I know. No, right in the middle of downtown, brand new stadium, and the fans are crazy, bro. Like you go there, the whole stadium's shaking. They're serious. They got this whole thing
How
down.
big is the stadium?
How many people?
So it holds
22,000?
22,000, and then they can push a little bit more for like standing only. I think a couple times they really squeeze people in because it's like the Galaxy game and everybody wants to go.
You get VIP when you go?
For sure.
What is the VIP
It should be
experience
really
like?
well. I'm by the field the whole time. By the field the whole time. Yeah,
And you
man.
get like the special platter and all that?
No, but it's funny because sometimes I'm just watching the game. I'm not like jumping up and down the whole time. And the section behind the home goal, it's like where all the fans are. And like, yeah, the north end. And these guys are like going off, man. They're just drumming, smoke coming out, jumping up and down the whole time, nonstop, like shaking the whole stadium. And sometimes they're looking at me like, you privileged motherfucker, start moving. Like, what?
Like at the Coliseum in Rome.
You know?
Go Gladiator.
I know. I'm just like drinking my beer on the side. They're like, fucking you jump, do something, say something, scream. I'm like, all right.
How do you like the experience playing at LAFC?
Yeah, it's honestly it's one of the best in MLS.
What do you mean one of the best?
As far as the training facility, they spent $30-40 million on a brand new facility, so you have everything you need there. And then the stadium alone, it's in downtown. Okay. It's very difficult nowadays to find a spot big enough to put a huge stadium. You know, we obviously mentioned earlier, 22,000, a grass field, which, some stadiums have artificial turf and no football player likes to play on turf field. So it's like running around on this. It doesn't feel good. The ball doesn't bounce right. And then you have probably the best supporters group in the North End, the 3252.
Amazing.
These guys non-stop.
You're so impressed with
I
them.
love it, man. I'm just like looking at them. They're really dope. They're really dope.
Honestly, like people come to our games and yeah, we probably won the game and they can talk about that, but more often than not, they're just talking about the 3252. It doesn't matter if we get scored on, if we score. It doesn't matter. They're singing.
Stop, man.
How are they
smoke
so
flags.
die hard for a team that's only been in the league for a year? How is that
I think they were
possible?
thirsty for a team. They needed it, and
Yeah.
they set it up. I think that that side of it that was setting up everything.
But there
for
has
the
been a team here, though. So, like, how does that work?
I think California, Southern California specifically, is so diverse. And you have cultures from all over the world. Obviously, we're Iranian here, but they have Mexicans here. They have El Salvadorians. You name it. They have it here. Yeah. Everyone always wanted something to be their own from the start. Yes. It feels weird. You move here to the beautiful country and there's already a team. You feel like you're jumping onto the,
there.
Yeah. But LAFC comes here to the heart of Los Angeles and
Sick-ass
starts
jerseys.
here.
Right.
And everything's awesome. The jerseys, the logos, the location of the stadium.
Right.
It feels like this is yours. Like, hey, let's start from the beginning. And now your kids can be like, hey, I'm following my dad's footsteps. This is something brand new. So I honestly feel that's why there's such a good following and such passionate supporters.
Right? Started together with the
At the very
stadium,
beginning.
everything together.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
One person owns it.
No. So we have 31 owners.
Will Ferrell is
Will
one?
Ferrell's
Will
one of them.
Farrell, Mia Hamm, Nomar Garcia Parra, Harry Sau, Henry Nguyen, Tony Robbins. We have
Tony Robbins.
we have
nice.
some.
That's what the team's doing.
We
well.
have some.
Does he come and give you guys motivation speeches?
Imagine.
You know how many
What would
times
that
Will
look like?
Ferrell pops into the
Really?
locker room like
No
after the
shit.
game,
Oh man.
and like
I'd love that.
everyone's like, oh, the other day Matthew McConaughey like rolled into our locker room.
He's like, hey man.
I did like one of like I looked and I did a double look. I'm like, oh wow, like all right. So it's pretty cool. Magic Johnson, like it's pretty cool the amount of owners that we have. But I think they all saw an opportunity to, again, similar to the fans, to get something fresh from the start, from the beginning. You know, a lot of them are part owners in the Dodgers, in the Warriors, who are very successful, and they saw an opportunity like LAFC. Let's be part owners in this together, and let's start from the very beginning and just have a club that just does everything right, like we
That's
mentioned
awesome,
earlier. Yeah.
And you've been there for a year, and you have another year.
So I signed a 2-year contract. I was a free agent when I left Toronto. So
By the way, if I ask you any questions that you don't
can't answer.
yeah, or you can tell me later on so I can delete it because I know it's important for you.
Yeah, sure. No
Right.
problem. I appreciate
So
that.
You
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, so I was with Toronto in 2016 and 17, and then my contract expired. So I was a free agent. Okay. And so, I weighed my options. There were about 7 or 8 teams that came calling, and in every situation, there's pros and cons. And so I sat down with my family, and we decided this was the best situation. And so we came here. I signed a 2-year contract. So last year was the first. This is the last year of the contract. So again, I'll be a free agent. And,
And was
similar
it your
things
best
will
contract
happen.
year?
Yeah, so I've been fortunate where I've been in high demand. Every team that I've gone
Talk
to.
that shit, son.
Yeah. So, it's like Europe. When these guys get huge transfer fees. I've just been a free agent, so they haven't had these huge transfer fees. Yeah.
LAFC, you better take care of my boy. We want him to
I
stay
hope
here.
so. I love it here. My family loves it here. But again, just like on their side, where it's a business, I know it's a business. It's a business on my side as well.
At what point you'll know that they may not be interested? Like, what nonverbal cue do you receive?
Yeah, it'll be known after the season.
It's after the season.
Because a lot of times during the season, especially crunch time right now, you only have 4 games left, and then the playoffs. You don't want it to be a distraction because it's a negotiation, right? Some people take it personally, and I admit, even in the off season, I take it personally, and that's just nature of that's human nature, And so if I'm here, I'm here. If I'm somewhere else, I'm somewhere else. I don't hold any grudges against any of my past
What's
teams.
the hardest you've ever taken a non-extension or a?
I use it as motivation.
So you never went through depression stages?
No,
dark
I
Steven
really
never came
don't. And people were like, you can go
Don't
2
come
ways.
upstairs, Mom.
Yeah. Not right now. No, I just use it as motivation. When I left San Jose, I'm from there. Sure, I was bummed out. They didn't, offer the absolute max to keep me there. But the next team did. And I use it as motivation to help them win. And so we were unbelievable when I was with San Jose. I go to Vancouver, and now San Jose isn't as good, and then Vancouver is unbelievable. So the same thing happens. I signed a 2-year deal, and now I go to Toronto, and I help them have the best record that they've ever had in their franchise. So I use that as motivation every place that I go to. And now I'm helping LAFC, just by pure motivation. Like, okay, you know what?
He's the one that
Toronto
buys up like
FC.
old shitty businesses, like sets them up.
Yeah.
Okay, now he sells them off.
But I use it as motivation.
Steven, because for a player that you're what 30,
32.
32,
Years
and
young.
you're having your
Young.
best contract year, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
That's not a typical thing in football or soccer, right? It's usually in soccer, it's 26, 27. That's your prime years.
Yeah, I'd say 26 to 30 is like the prime years.
So what the hell's happening with you? Like, I know the Persian genetics aren't that powerful.
Yeah. It's a lot of discipline. It's funny, when I went with the Iran national team, a lot of the
Yeah, let's
guys,
talk about that.
We got to talk
get
about
deep
that.
into that.
Yeah, but let's hear this.
a lot of guys would joke around and call me Doctor because I have so many gizmos and gadgets. Love stretching and like the foam rollers and like all the stuff.
Compared to them, like goal kuchik playing.
Yeah,
You know.
And my nutrition is so disciplined, and these guys are eating cello cabo.
What was the weirdest thing that you'd see them do compared to your American standards?
The diet was a big difference. I'm like, how are you guys eating, some of the stuff? And I'm not gonna give specifics on what they're eating, but I'm just like looking around.
Why do you draw the line at the specifics of what they're eating? Like,
I don't want to throw anyone under blast. I don't want to get anyone in trouble. So, and I go there and I bring my own foam roller. So you guys know foam rollers, yeah. So I bring that, and then the training
I own
staff.
one. No, I'm kidding.
They see,
What does that mean? Yeah.
they see that, and they're like, "Oh, where'd you get that from?" And so they ask for the manufacturer's name and all that stuff. And now I see on all the Instagram posts, all the players have them. They ordered for the entire team.
Is it a special type of foam roller?
No, you can get them anywhere, but they didn't know about them before. And I do, I use a softball, like a baseball, to do like tension, releases on the hip, on the psoas, and people, they haven't been introduced to that. So when they see me doing that, they ask questions like, "Hey, why do you do that?" Because we have some of the best sports science teams here in the U.S. So everything that I've learned in my career, I took it there, and they haven't seen it yet. So they're asking me all these questions. So that's why they joke around.
That's on
They call
the
me
team
Doctor.
and its shitty management, man. Can you believe it?
Dr. Estevan?
Yeah,
I'm saying the team and its management, right? How shitty is it that they're not taking care of it,
Which I'm surprised, though, because Queiroz was big on your physical, the player's physical fitness, wasn't he?
Oh, he was. And I think part of why they brought me there was to bring that professionalism in.
Interesting. So let's get into that, huh?
Let's do it.
But I want to hear everything because there isn't a lot of you talking about, right? Why isn't it?
What happened? Like, let's like.
Do they?
Go ahead.
First of all, I want to know about that before we even get into the story, because even before knowing anything about you, just from far, I was trying to find out like what the hell happened with this random guy that came and left. What was the story? And I could never find anything on you. I'm sure the journalists would try to reach out to you. Yeah. Would you not give them anything? Were you not doing interviews?
I usually give very vague answers.
Today you're gonna put an end to that.
I'll put some.
We're not gonna let you get away with it here. I'm kidding.
Because you seem so open about talking about it, but how come you weren't open about it before?
It depends who's asking the questions, what newspapers want to write things, because sometimes they twist it,
Especially over there, yeah. So it's risky as fuck. Dude,
and this is audio for the most part, so they hear what we're saying.
I want to be real. I get it. I get what you mean, because I want to be honest with you. Like, I was like, he must be taking advantage of what's going on. Like, that's what I thought from far, because you don't know anything. And then I'm like, he's just coming in, and then he's leaving, and there's no information. So I could see it, even if you said something, they could have even twisted that more and made it to be like, who is this guy? Because there's a lot of me versus them type energy in Iran, from what I understand.
I know, they take him as a spy. He'd be in prison right now.
Or they're like,
God forbid.
or they're like, why does he deserve to be there? There's like that type of stuff. Yeah. Even though Queiroz was good with bringing players like yourself that were dual citizens, right?
He brought in Ashkan, he brought in Reza. There might have been a couple other ones, but those are the big ones, especially when he started. They were fantastic.
So you were a player that was making it into like top month, top weekly in the MLS, right? Like you were doing really good here, and then you get the invite. You could have gone to the American National Team.
I could have waited. And I'm sure if I waited, I would have had 50 caps with the U.S. by now. 100%. Yeah.
Did you know that could happen for you, or were you like, probably not? It's not going to happen. There's a lot of good guys.
Growing up, I knew that. I need to get onto the national team sooner than later. And so right when I started, Iran actually came calling, I think my second year when I was with San Jose. US hadn't called yet. So I said, let's make it happen. Absolutely. That was 2011. So for whatever reason, it was just taking them a long time to get all the paperwork. You know how it is with the paperwork over there, the visa.
2011, a year before
I got
the World Cup.
3 years, because the World Cup was 2014. But you have qualifiers, so those are very important as well. It was, 2011 where, as a defender, I led our team in assists. So I was one of the best right backs in the U.S. Okay, and then 2012, again, I finished top 3 amongst all defenders in the entire league in assists. Wow. I got called into the All-Star team that year. I got called into the U.S. National Team that year. Our team...
This is when Klinsmann's the coach.
Yeah. And our team with San Jose in 2012, I told you, we won Supporter Shield that year. We were breaking every record. And I played 33 of 34 games that year.
And is Jürgen hollering at you at this
And he is. He's calling. I'm on the roster for the U.S. Men's National Team in Mexico. The only time U.S. has beaten Mexico in Mexico. We won 1-0. So I was on the roster. 2012. Yeah.
So you get called.
So I got called up. But here's the catch. I didn't play. So I'm still eligible.
Whoa. So if you don't play minutes,
if you don't play minutes,
the moment you play, even in a friendly, it's done. Because Queiroz was good at getting these guys to play like a 2-minute thing. And
when I went in 2013, right, my first game, he's like, okay, sub him in. I don't care if he didn't start. He put me in.
That's what
cap tied.
He would just do that. And then we'd all be like,
yeah. You know? And a lot of people, to be fair, so in 2013, when I went to January camp with the U.S. Men's National Team, a lot of people were saying just put Steven in so Iran can't have him switch over and play for them. So the term is cap tie. So just cap tie him. He can't play for anyone else. So a lot of people were upset with Klinsmann that he didn't just cap tie me. But, unfortunately, he didn't have the chance really because I had an injury, a sports hernia, and I had to leave camp.
Unfortunately, he didn't have the chance.
Yeah. So
You couldn't play. No, you couldn't because you were
I had
injured.
to leave. Unfortunately, I had to leave. So that was the unfortunate part.
For who?
For me. Okay. I wanted to play and do well. Yeah. But anytime you get injured, it's the worst thing. As a professional athlete, it's probably the most frustrating thing is picking up injuries because you work so hard to be at top fitness, to be so fit and confident and everything's flying, and then you get hurt and you just come crashing down. You have to start over.
Numbered of years, right?
Yeah, and then you have to start over. You have to build up again. And, you're away from the team. You're on your own doing all this rehab. It's awful. It really is. But, yeah, so I had to pull out because I had sports hernia surgery in January. And so...
You got healed up and you got the offer, kind of?
I missed the first 7 games of 2013 with San Jose, and then I came back. And then we started doing really well that year. And then Klinsmann sends me a text, says, hey, it's great to see you're back.
What's up, Jürgen?
Yeah.
And he's like, have a German accent?
With the German accent on the text message.
You get here
with
now.
The accent. And so, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm going to get called back into the U.S.
How does it feel to get a text message from Jürgen Klinsmann? Because we grew up, he was a legend.
Yeah, had his cards and everything, man.
Yeah, he's definitely a legend. It was cool. It was.
Did you save his number?
It was more. I still have his number, and no, I'm not going to give it to you so that you can text him.
I just want to get him on the podcast.
Yeah. No, I haven't texted him or called him since then. But
remember me?
Yeah. Yeah. This is you guys saying all this, not me. I just want to clarify. Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't get called back in during that year. I played 27 of the remaining 27 games in 2013. Okay. And so when I didn't get called in, I was like, look, the World Cup is next year. If I'm not getting called in, this is my only shot. And so Iran was still in contact with me. Omi Namazi was the assistant coach. He was the main contact because he lived here. He was I think raised in West Virginia or somewhere around there. He played college ball here. Yeah. So he was the main contact really in Carlos's ear saying, hey, he's one of the best outside backs in the entire league. We need to bring him. He can really help us, all this stuff. So it's always useful and beneficial when you have someone in the coach's ear saying, hey, you need to see this guy.
And how are you dealing with Namazi? Are you being cool with him, but there's still somebody else that might be interested? How are you playing?
At that point, I felt like they really wanted me, and that's all you want as a player. You want to feel like the love, like, okay, they really want me. They've been trying since 2011, and the paperwork wasn't working on the Iranian side. But then when they saw the U.S. was interested, they said, okay, like that. Yeah, but that's how it is everywhere. What did I tell you earlier with the contracts? They don't offer me big contract. They see these other teams are interested. Now they say, okay, we'll pay you. See? Yeah.
Go come back on Friday.
That's how it works. So they saw the U.S. was interested in this, so the paperwork, it was amazing how quickly it got
Now
done.
they got it like, yeah.
It got
And
done.
who's giving you
hustling.
advice? Because this is such a particular, specific situation that only few people will probably understand. Who are you going for advice?
From the national team or from family-wise? Everyone. Anyone that had an input on it? Yeah, everyone and nobody at the same time.
Just trying everything, like, no luck. Yeah.
Everybody has an opinion, and then afterwards they're like, "Oh, why did you do this?" It's like, "What do you mean? You told me to do this." Oh man, yeah. So,
Okay.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
This is
with
cool.
We're
This is
not that- we're
interesting.
not even like close
Not
to
even,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
I love
yeah,
this.
it's very detailed.
Yes, thank you for this.
Yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, they got the paperwork done, and October 2013 in Iran at Azadi Stadium against Thailand was my first game
2013.
with Iran,
Official game?
and it could have been, I didn't get cap-tied, but in the 80th minute or 75th minute, Queiroz put me in, and
Who'd you go for?
Nice.
I went in for Hossein Mahini.
Okay.
Yeah, so the other right back. So he, got subbed out. I don't know what minute it was, 75th, around there. And that was it. Once I stepped on the field, yeah. He's actually a great guy. I'm still friends with him.
Who
Still
is?
talk to him.
I didn't-
Hossein Mahini. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
He's actually the captain now because Jalil is sitting on the bench now. Yeah.
Good dude. So there's still probably like 10 guys I still talk to from my time with the national team that are really good people.
So you go in, and then people in Iran, they would love that, right? They just
It was awesome. When I was warming up, everyone on the stands behind me, everyone was going Beitashour. It was awesome.
Look, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah,
Look,
like
I got goosebumps.
since you brought up Azadi, because I've never been, and I was with my friend who's been to Azadi at the Bank of California Stadium, the LAFC Stadium, and it was shaking. This is crazy. He's like, if you come to Azadi, it's 120,000 people and all fucking guys. And it's nuts. It's like it's like dangerous.
It's
you
very
feel like
it's
the fear.
primitive. It's primitive, and it's huge. It fits 120,000.
It's one of the only
people.
outlets they have to go to let it out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's just like it's nuts. Yeah.
So they're
That's
calling.
amazing.
They're kind of.
Yeah, so
What
when
did they
we
say?
we were just juggling. So I didn't start. So the non-starters, the 7 reserve players, were just juggling on the sides, and they just start chanting Beitashour. I'm like, this is awesome. So I applaud them and acknowledge them for cheering for me. And then when I'm on the sideline ready to go in, I just hear Beitashour Bezar too. Beitashour Bezar too.
They also know.
I'm like, this is, yeah. But what a feeling. I swear I got goosebumps. I'm like, this is amazing. This is why I play the game.
And by that time, you've been in Iran for only probably a few days.
Yeah, just a few days. Yeah.
Was that your first time?
No, I've been there a few times before, but not for a long time. Ever since school started, summer here is very slow, and my mom, my dad, like, oh, let's go back to Iran. I'm like, oh, but my friends are here, so I didn't go back in almost 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah. So it was a long time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but my mom was there at the time. She was in Iran.
Oh no, she was already
there.
Did she pick you up from the airport or somebody from the
Mom
federation?
picked no. Well, they were there as well, but my mom picked me up. Yeah. So they were there as well, just to make sure everything goes smoothly.
So
but
who do you stay with for that first 2 days?
we were at the hotel. Yeah, I told my parents, like I go on the road here, it's business. I'm not here on a vacation. I'm not going sightseeing. I'm here, go to the hotel, focus, nutrition, hydration, Dr. Steven. Yeah, I get very focused.
To see the family.
No memories.
all
No,
that,
absolutely not. And they
Let's
tried.
go to
They
Shomal
tried.
for the weekend.
They tried.
Let's go to Shomal for the weekend. I'll let you.
داری خودت واسه ما میگیری از آمریکا اومدی؟
Tried. I said, guys, I'm here to play football. I'm sorry.
So then you get a couple practices in, you go minute 87. Are you a little nervous or not really?
Beforehand, yeah. Once the game starts, no. It's weird. The build-up before every game, I always get nervous. Even now, from day one to
Every show, same thing. with me,
over
like, yeah, I
250
get that.
games I've played professionally, and I still, before the game, the build-up, I get that, and I think it's a good thing. That means you still enjoy it.
Yeah. And
You really want it.
And you also you feel that you're doing something important. You're about to get into something serious. And that's just your body telling you it's a signal.
I think the second
It's
I
good
don't feel
anxiety.
that is the second I know I need to retire.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it's good anxiety basically.
And we're nowhere close to that
No.
at all.
No.
We still got a good 7 years.
Inshallah.
Inshallah رو خوب اومدی. Dr. Steven. So this game was a qualification game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many more qualification games did we have until? Because we didn't know if we were gonna go pretty much until the last minute.
We were off to a good start.
We'd had a great start.
Yeah, we had a good start. Yeah. So I don't know how many games were left, but I think we knew we were gonna qualify. But I played for a few
How many
qualifiers.
qualification games were you in? Not actually playing, or
I
doesn't
think
matter?
I ended up playing 6.
6 of them.
Yeah. And so, some games I started. It was actually pretty cool. My first game I started was in Thailand, against Thailand, and we won 3-0, and I got an assist. So I was, as a defender, you want to get a clean sheet. And then the way I play, I attack like crazy. So the fact that I got an assist, I was thrilled.
And were you gelling with Jalal and everything? Like, it felt good?
Yeah, it was really good. And, it's tough because you want minutes with your teammates. And, an issue was people were like, he didn't have that many minutes with his teammates. Like, we need to call him in more. And that was the issue after the World Cup. They said the travel is too far. And we're playing competition that we don't need to have him fly across the world.
So that wasn't your saying?
No.
That's what I meant by it.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
So were any of the
Now you know
players
what I
like?
meant. Like, I noticed because when I said it, you looked like you were looking at me. I was like, oh shit, did I not supposed to say
I've
that?
always been trying to go. And I get thousands of
know that.
fans that have been saying, why don't you come to the national team? We want you. We need you. Come play for the national team. We love you here. And my response has always been the same. It's not up to me, unfortunately. They have to call me in. So when people say, oh, are you done with the national team? No, I'm not done with the national team. If they call me in to the next qualifiers, I go.
See, I never heard that. My impression was that Steven just figured that this is too much of a travel. It's probably not good for his club life, and therefore he's just going to stay in America.
It's actually good for my career to get national team call-ups, because if you have international call-ups, you're on the world stage. So a lot of people in the U.S. who play for the U.S. national team get caps, but then they get looks overseas because you're playing for the U.S. national team. So anytime you're playing on an international stage, the world is watching.
So why would they not want a player as good as you?
So what I heard
Am I
from
fast forwarding too much, or should we go back?
So
and
we
then
can
come
go back.
I was gonna say Thailand. Like the other players didn't ask you to Pattaya. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm playing. Go ahead, continue. I just have to throw that in there.
So, I mean, they said the travel was too far. So anytime you have a player going across the world, you have to think logically. You don't want to go the one day and the next day you're running around sprinting because you're going to get injured. So you have to go 2-3 days in advance. One, you have the time change. 2, you have a long flight. You've been sitting for 17 hours on a plane. You can't just go run. You have to let your body kind of get acclimated with the
jet lag and all that.
The jet lag with everything. And then you're playing competition where they told me, like, hey, we're going to beat this team 5-0. We don't need to fly you first class across the world, spend thousands of dollars that we know we're going to win a match. So it made sense to me. So the whole time they were in contact with me after 2014 World Cup to the 2018 World Cup. So I was still confident, like, hey, maybe I'm going to get in for some of these games.
How was your relationship with Carlos?
It was good. He I think
What
he
is
loved
he
me.
like? Can
but
you tell us what is he like? Fuck, I get to ask somebody that actually was around.
Right?
He's very
Yeah, that's
disciplined.
dope.
He's coming from a European background where it's very similar to how the U.S. background is.
But you wouldn't have told me if he was psychotic, though.
No. But he's not. He's a good coach. He's very disciplined. He really is. That's the most disciplined you've ever seen any Iranian team, is it not? Yes. And it's
makes sense.
purely because of him.
I've never seen someone effectively pretty much make it to be about a team and not about a player in Iran. That always killed me.
Yeah.
And I was like him communicating with the players. Was that like pretty easy with the translators?
Well,
and
players
everything?
loved them, right?
Players loved him. Absolutely. Because he had these cool little, like, for birthdays, everyone had these rituals.
Why did the
where
players love him so much?
just because he talked to his players and he almost felt like he was Iranian, like he embraced the culture, you know?
He really did.
Yeah, he did. And He learned a few words, which guys, anytime someone tries to speak Farsi, everyone gets a kick out of it, right? Like, oh, this guy's embracing our language, embracing our culture. So it was really cool.
Because there was a lot of mental warfare between him and other
The Federation?
outside external things. Yeah.
Yeah. Between the Federation, sure. I think
He thought it was necessary, maybe.
probably. But I can't answer that because I don't know for certain.
So Carlos liked you.
Yeah, I think he liked me. But I think he also had a tough time convincing the Federation to spend a lot of money to fly me first class over from the U.S. to Iran. Yeah.
It's over flight, you know.
Long.
Like a talent of a lifetime. He's the assist leader in MLS of all time.
It's crazy,
as a
man.
defender. That's insane. And for you to not take advantage of that,
Yeah. So I think people were shocked when they saw me on the preliminary roster for the 2018 World Cup again. Everyone's like, whoa, you haven't called him in 4 years. Where did this come from? But, I've been staying in contact with him this whole time.
were you upset when they were talking about maybe he just doesn't want to travel, it's too much for him, too long for him? Did that hurt you? Because now you can't play for America, where you would have probably got treated very respectfully. It was close to home. It would have been more money for you. It would have been just... Life would have been a lot easier for you.
Yeah, for sure. It would have been. And that's the frustrating part. It's because, I essentially, I committed to you guys. And now you're not committed to me for whatever reasons. And there's all these games that I feel like I can be part of the team. I can help the team. I can mesh with the team. And I 100% believe if I was at the World Cup, I could have helped the team. But when you don't get into all these games and you can't mesh with your teammates and you're not comfortable with maybe your center back, your midfielders because you haven't played together, that might throw the dynamics off. So
Especially on defense, right?
especially defense. They might think, yeah, he's probably the best right back in the U.S. and in Iran, but how's he going to gel? We haven't seen it. Maybe the Federation didn't allow it. For whatever reason, it didn't happen. So now is Carlos going to take a huge risk by bringing me in just for the World Cup? So it's frustrating.
Wasn't Namazi kind of falling off with Carlos himself?
So he fell off right before the 2014 World Cup.
Oh, the guy that brought you.
Yeah. So a lot of people
Did
were
you
like,
feel like your back's empty? Is that an American saying? Can you say that?
Your back's empty, that's like after a lot of sex. No, I'm kidding. Like they don't have support.
No one's in corner.
no
There we
one's in
go.
your corner.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a saying.
Did you feel a little?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. Because any team that you go to, the coach doesn't just make a decision on his own. He looks at his peers, people that he trusts and worked with in the past, to kind of reassure, like, hey, this position, he's the best player, right? And other coaches will either reassure him or be like, you know what? This guy, I think, is in better form right now. We should try him. Or they might agree with him. So I think not having Omid there to really be like, hey, Steven's, balling out in the U.S. He's the best right back in their league. If he was playing with the U.S., he'd be getting called. We should bring him in and let him get caps and get comfortable, and people could embrace him, because it's different if you occasionally come play with the team. People might look at you like an outsider. Right. And I understand that, because when I went with the U.S. national team, I looked at other players that would come in from other countries as an outsider. So I'm not going to be dismissive of that idea. It's human nature, And so I understoed it. So that's why I was like,
interesting experience.
yeah,
for you.
absolutely.
It's like something you can write a book about maybe one day.
The book will come out when I'm done.
Yeah.
So then, what was your last time with the Iranian team? Where was it?
The last time was at the 2014 World Cup.
And how was that experience?
And that was the toughest part.
I'm glad you got to experience the World Cup. How about that?
It's mixed emotions,
Because you didn't get minutes.
because I didn't get minutes. Mixed emotions.
So what are you doing? You're sitting on the bench like play hating?
I'm just like,
How frustrating is that, Because
super frustrating.
Because to me, it's like as if we go to a concert and then you can't go on stage and you could just go do one of your songs or something like that, and you have like 15 songs ready,
Can you imagine?
hyped up, you're practicing,
Not even one song.
and then
not even one
one
song.
song. Just go, ladies and gentlemen, then or not even at all. Oof.
Do you know how excited I got to warm up?
Which game was
Like the first game. The first
Man,
game.
that's bullshit.
Every time They were so FIFA regulations.
Was that the worst game of the World Cup? It was,
No,
right?
Nigeria.
Nigeria was considered the worst game of the World Cup.
Was it?
Yeah,
Why?
I read it somewhere. It was very boring.
Why was it? It was very boring, and that's what I said. We bunkered in, and everyone's looking at it from the staff as like, hey, we accomplished something. We tied Nigeria. I'm like, we could have beat Nigeria. We could have attacked them, but
That's the criticism that Carlos gets, by the way.
Pejman actually played right back. He's a center back, and our whole thing was just defend, get tall guys on the field and defend and bunker in. And I'm
Why?
like,
Because they're more physical or they're strong? Like, what was it?
they almost looked at them like they were superior to us.
Well, that was Carlos's mentality, though. His mentality was that we don't have good nutrition. We're physically, we can't compete. They have players in good leagues. Our best chance is to play defense and wait for an opportunity. You know, something like that.
Yeah.
Did that sound like his translator? He's very intense, by the way. What's that guy's name? I'm sure you talked to him a lot because you guys were.
I haven't talked to him in a while. What's his name? Shoot. He's a good guy. I still talk to him.
He's very intense.
Yeah.
I think that guy messaged me one time.
Did he?
I think I told you. I don't know.
Why am I drawing a blank on his name right now?
I know, I am too. Iman, I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's something like that. Yeah. I'm going to look at my phone later when I get done. He's a good guy. He'll like send me like a random message like, happy birthday or something. Yeah. He's a good guy.
Awesome.
He's a good guy.
So, okay.
I think it is.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're watching, and then you're like, "Fuck, I can't play," and bittersweet. But you got to do the whole World Cup.
Well, I kept having hope because every time they say get up and go warm up, I'm like, yes, this is my moment. I'm going in. And I knew once I got in, they would be like, yeah, he needs to start and he needs to play.
Well, were you doing good in the practices for him?
Yeah, doing well. But their whole thing beforehand was first game, we're being very defensive against Nigeria. We think they're tall, they're good on set pieces, they're on corners. This is what they told me. And so we don't want to give up on that. We just want to be so compact and structurally sound that we don't lose the game. They weren't necessarily trying to win the game. But then the next game was against Argentina. So I was told I was starting against Argentina because they don't have such a tall team. They're more the small,
Were
quick
you nervous
dribblers.
about that if that would have happened? Because they had the best. Who did they have on? Their left would face you, right? So you.
I think Di Maria was on that side.
Like the Madrid player.
Yeah. So he's with PSG right now. He actually scored two goals today.
No
in
shit.
Champions League, yeah.
So you get excited or you get nervous? Like, how does that look like?
I get excited, but like any other game, right before I get nervous, and then once the game starts, it's just.
And did you have faith in our team, honestly? Like, did you think we had a good team?
I think we could have got to the next round. I honestly do. I think if we got a result against Nigeria, if we won 1-0,
Shittiest Nigeria I've ever seen, by the way.
we should have beat them. Yeah. We really should have. And then we were a few seconds away from drawing Argentina. So if you have a win, a draw, you're going into the last game against Bosnia and Herzegovina, and you play the same tactic. They have to expose themselves because they need the win, and then we'd be fine. Unfortunately, it was flipped. We had to expose ourselves, and there's a reason they scored 3 goals on us, because we weren't so defensive and compact. We were trying to beat them straight up, and that's not our style.
Because maybe that actually wasn't such a bad group that year, right?
It wasn't. We were very close.
Because I'm not too like Bosnia's. I'm not. I don't know too much about their
Really
team.
good
Like
forward.
I mean, yeah.
Dzeko is over there. Panic in midfield. He's a really good player. He's obviously playing for one of the top clubs in Europe right now. They had a good team. They had a couple good midfielders.
So you were saying it was Keiros's fault?
No,
I'm
no,
kidding.
no,
I'm totally
no.
joking.
You're really
joking,
gonna get me in trouble now.
I'm obviously kidding. It's like so exaggerated. It's like no talks about Queiroz. Yeah.
So
Okay.
it was bittersweet.
So you were a little sad?
Very, very sad. People were like, "Oh, this is amazing. You're on the roster for a World Cup team." And yes, it was amazing. But I'm a competitor. I'm so competitive that
You
I
didn't
want to
get
be
to
on
shine,
the
do your
field.
thing.
I want to help our team win. I know if I was on the field, I would help our team win. Because every club team that I've been on, I help our team win and I leave and then they fall apart.
Which doesn't make sense, Stephen, because your style of play would seem like very fitting of a counterattack type of game that Queiroz likes to play, you know?
Yeah.
You would have been very helpful in counterattacks.
Any style.
Talk that shit.
But I'm a player that helps the people around me.
Yeah.
Because I communicate so much that when I'm not on the field, people sometimes they react to things, I anticipate things happening. So I'm a step ahead. So when I'm talking to the guy next to me, I'm making sure he's in the right spot so nothing happens. So you think, oh, nothing happened. It was kind of boring. I'm preventing something. I'm preventing something from some crazy emergency play happening because I'm anticipating, hey, this is what they're doing, and I'll shift someone over. But if no one talks and no one shifts over, all of a sudden you're going 1v1 against your goalie, and you're like, oh, he might score, he might not. I just prevent from all that from happening.
So in a way, you're being very selfless.
Too selfless, unfortunately.
از بچگیت هم همینطور بودی.
Like Kobe, right?
Tell you what, you're onto something. There's a reason I have so many assists and not that many goals.
It is. It's a psychological thing. I see it the same way too. Like one of my favorite things in playing any sport is just passing the ball. You know, I'm like, why are people so obsessed with scoring? Like, I love passing the ball, and it has to be some other things.
It's deep down inside. Yeah. You know what's funny? My parents give me a hard time for that. Why are you so unselfish? Take it yourself.
Why did you pass the ball? You just score it.
Yeah. I'm like, pretty sure I've been like this my whole life. Sorry, I'm not going to change it now.
And then you were watching America's games too, and you're like, fuck, I could have been on that team?
No. We were watching the games, but obviously when you're with the team, you're only...
Who did you get really close with in the World Cup player-wise? Were you being close with
Ashkan, Dejogier, Ali Reza. Who else? Reza Kuchinazad. Hossein Mahini is a good guy. Obviously, Endo is a funny guy. Still talk to him. Daniel Daveri, the goalkeeper. So we roomed together for a majority of
his
the
situation
camp.
is even weirder than yours.
Yeah.
I don't get that one.
His is wild.
Yeah.
Ashkon's cool though, huh?
Yeah.
I talk to him once in a while on Instagram. And
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. He's a good dude. So his club team actually has been trying to get me to come over there for a while. Yeah, Tractor. Yeah.
Director, no way.
They have like this super rich owner now.
Yeah.
It's like he's doing really well, and he's doing good.
And they have hardcore fans, that's for sure.
Would you consider it?
Yeah. So last year I told you about the transfer fees here. They were offering a pretty big transfer fee to bring me over there.
Director was.
Yeah.
Interesting. And you would go there.
Yeah. So I don't like leaving when I'm in the middle of a contract. For some reason, I feel like you're abandoning your team, and I don't like that. Yeah. So, anywhere I've been, even when I was in college, I was at San Diego State, Berkeley tried to get me to transfer over. And I feel like, you know what, these are my brothers, this is my family, I can't just leave them. But once you're out of contract, okay, now it's open.
Mm-hmm. You're very honorable.
Yeah.
Like Ned Stark. Yeah.
You know what happened to Ned Stark?
So
That's so funny.
So,
would you consider Persepolis too?
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't
That's your
have any
team.
preference, yeah.
No. I'd go to any team over there. Similar to over here. There's a few teams I wouldn't go to over here, but I'm not going to say. Yeah. But
you're very honest, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
I don't mind it. I just I enjoy what I do and I love it.
So World Cup ends, bittersweet, and then you come back to Iran, or you go from? Because everybody came back to Iran, or did you just straight go to?
So almost everyone went back to Iran because I think they were out of season, so they had free time. I was in season. U.S. season is a little different. Yeah. So they all technically had their vacation time. So a lot of them went back to Iran. There was like a parade. And if I wasn't in season, I would have gone too. That would have been awesome. But I was in season. So I flew straight to Colorado because we were playing them there. And I tried to play, but the sports science team, they're like, hey, we appreciate your dedication, enthusiasm to play, but we don't want to get you injured. And then you're going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. And then, that's pointless. We don't want to do that. So they're like, we appreciate it, but don't play this game. And then
here's the $1 million question, and I don't know if you're going to answer it or not. Do you regret playing for Iran?
I can't answer that. That's a post.
I respect that very much.
That's for the book.
That's for the book. Yeah. It's always hindsight, right? Hindsight's 20/20. So,
but fortunately, though, or unfortunately, America's team hasn't been doing that well either, right? So
yeah, because you can look at every situation, and again, hindsight. If I played for them and I played in the World Cup and I played those matches, and I did well, and all of a sudden big European clubs are calling me, that wouldn't even be a question. But I go there, I don't play any minutes, I haven't been called in 5-6 years. Now it's a question. Vice versa. What if I don't play for Iran national team? I play for U.S. and they never call me. What if they call me to all these games and then a big European club?
Because you don't know what actually would have happened.
You don't know.
On the other hand,
It's easy.
Might have gotten injured.
Hindsight. Yeah.
Someone would have kicked you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know.
Have you visited Iran since? Probably not.
No, I haven't been back since. Yeah.
So how
Just
long
'cause
did you
we're
live in
season.
Iran? Like during the whole time? Was it
With the
about a
national
year?
team? No, we just go for whatever games we have.
So you never actually lived there, like when you were playing for the team?
No,
You just
no.
oh okay.
You just go similar to like a road match. You go there for 10 days, 5 days, whatever it is. You play your game, and then you go to the next city or country, wherever you're going. So we had a game in Iran.
Wasn't tough
and then
every
we went
time with the
somewhere else.
hours, like switching
It's
back.
tough. It's a tough travel. Obviously, it's a lot easier because you're going first class, so you can sleep. And the flight's a lot shorter when you can sleep.
Yeah.
But
Still, with me, with the
it's-
jet lag, it takes a
it's
few
tough.
days. Like
It's
sometimes it takes even longer.
Yeah, I was
And it's
sleeping all day
frustrating.
too.
And I don't know what time zone I'm in sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Oh yeah, you travel.
crazy.
Competing against the best in the world.
Yeah.
And that was tough when I was in Toronto. It's to come all the way back home to San Jose. It's a long flight, 5-6 hours. You can't do it that often because you have to be 100% for trainings.
Yeah.
Because however you train is how you're going to play. If you don't train well, you might not play. So people don't understand that, every single day, whatever you do, if you go out partying the night before and drinking alcohol, how do you think you're going to train the next day? Not well at all.
Yeah.
And so the coaches see that and they're like, oh, you know what? This other guy's playing better. Let's play him. Or, God forbid, you pick up an injury because you were out partying, you're on your feet, and your muscles are tired, and all of a sudden something
Are
pulled.
you taking any supplements? Anything that everyone should know about because he travels a lot?
You take a lot of vitamins. Nothing illegal. Protein. No, nothing. Yeah, multivitamins, fish oils. Nothing crazy.
Nothing specific? That's it? Yeah. So even like a pro player like you, he's not taking anything like crazy supernatural? That's interesting.
Because at the end of the day, they drug test. So if you're taking anything crazy, super unnatural,
I don't mean it like that.
Yeah.
I meant just, I don't know.
it's all about nutrition. If everything that you eat with your nutrition, your food every day, you get the vitamins and minerals and nutrition from there.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. So if you eat cheeseburgers and Taco Bell and McDonald's,
Get B12.
you're gonna be B12. I don't think there's any B12 in there. Yeah. So everything that you eat, hydrating, drinking a lot of.
You really can. From a good diet, you can take almost everything you can get from it.
And you're doing all this as a vegan?
No.
I'm kidding.
No vegan. Some guys are though.
Really?
Yeah. Some guys. One of our guys, Lee Win, on our team. He's vegan.
It's doable. It just probably
It's
takes a
doable.
lot more effort, and like you got to be very organized and disciplined. With your diet.
Yeah. It's a constant theme. Everything I say.
I can teach
discipline.
you. If you
Very disciplined. Yeah. It's crazy, but that's there's a reason why we play for so long and do as well as we do. Similar in your profession, you have to be disciplined.
yeah.
You have that love for it. But if you're not disciplined, if you don't work hard,
It's not.
You can't
see,
be where you're at.
Even if I just factor myself out, you see a lot of like music artists, whatever, rappers, singers. Some people last forever,
Yeah.
And some people just burn out. Some people just lose it,
Yeah.
They don't. Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah.
And every profession, not just ours, obviously because we're in front of a lot of fans and people have a magnifying glass on us, but even people in normal jobs, there's
That's the part that people don't see, by the way,
Yeah,
right? That's
yeah.
the part that they just see, like, oh, that guy has been doing it forever, but they don't see like what routine they have and how they live their lives
Yeah.
all the time,
Yeah. Tip of the cap to all those people.
Yeah, they always say, "Oh, that guy was so good. What happened to him?" Behind the music.
Yeah.
Watch,
Yeah.
you watch what actually happened and whatnot.
So that's kind of the Iran side.
Thank you, man. I feel so light after all the things that she said. I really needed to know, like, and it feels so good to hear it, like, from someone that's been there.
Yeah.
You're very validating. Thank you. You were very honest and open and vulnerable, and I appreciate that.
A lot of my friends, who went to UCLA, obviously, they're all over the Persian forums, and they ask all the time.
So you
how
get
come-
it.
Yeah,
You
I
get where
get
this
it.
is coming from.
I get it. Yeah, and it makes sense if I don't continuously say what's going
You
on.
left
People
us
don't know.
so fucking confused, man.
People really are, and I'm like,
I think I've literally like Googled your name in Farsi to find out if there was anything, and I couldn't find shit.
I mean, just go look purely on my Instagram comments, and all of them are like, when are you playing for the Iran national team? When are you playing for Team Melli? When are you coming back?
Honestly, I thought this was going to be a boring interview because you kept things so vague. Like, I was like, he's not going to say anything probably, you know? He's going to be like, yeah, Iran was fun.
Yeah. If the reporters here ask the questions, but they don't. Here it's about the club team, you know? They're focused on, you know, how does it feel being on the best team
Did
in
anybody hate
MLS
on you
history?
out here? Because I heard with Queiroz, I don't know if you followed him or not. He's a player that could have played for Sweden, and he was doing really well. And he decided to play with Iran. Yeah. And Swedish people, like especially the racist ones, started getting mad at him. He was getting a lot of hate mail. Did you get anything like that out here?
I didn't get any hate mail, but they're more passionate over there.
Yeah, I think racist Americans don't really watch soccer. They're not into it.
Yeah.
They watch Monday Night Football. Not kidding. But
What kind of Steven is that? That's no Steven to me.
yeah.
Oh, I should.
We're the ones saying it. We're the ones saying it.
Yeah. I should.
Anyway.
I'll take anything out that you want me to take.
By the way.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, man. So let's. You want to get a little about LAFC? And,
Let's get LAFC.
And I want to know the effects of it. I was telling you, Yaya, before the show that I want to ask you about. You just recently had a baby.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
It's
you.
been like 7 months.
7
now?
months.
7 months.
Oh,
yeah.
it's amazing.
On the dot.
Yeah.
Really cute, man. Really cute. Yeah. Because I've heard this with from other people in other fields that I've worked with, like people that said that once they had the baby, basically really successful people, and they said that once I had the baby, my whole outlook changed, my motivation, and everything changed, and I just that's when I just kind of took off, and it was a new leap for me. Yeah. Do you feel that way?
It changes the perspective on everything.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
You become selfless. Really,
It's all about
all about your child, and I love him so much. Every time I come home, I'm just like, God, it doesn't matter what kind of day I had. Braden. And so anytime I come home, it doesn't matter if I had a great day, a bad day, it's just, everything just disappears. And I'm like, this is awesome. And he just started crawling right now. So it's just even more fun. He's just all over the place and just chasing him around and just playing with him, and he's interactive. And he's a super happy baby, which is awesome. So we love it. We're thankful. God blessed us with a healthy, happy baby, and knock on wood.
God bless him. Yeah, that's amazing. Because I see people sometimes they say, "Oh, I don't want a kid. I have a dog," and I get it. I've had dogs, and I understand. I love dogs. I really do. You know how much. But you can't compare that. It's just however much you love that dog, just imagine you created that child as something from you. You see a part of you, part of your wife, everything in that child, and you see them growing up. It's so different.
And
the
they're
level
so
of
dependent
involvement.
on you.
Yeah.
They're so the first months, man, it's crazy. They can't do anything, and this is why I tell people it's the most fun this age, because I can kind of roughhouse with them. Yeah. He rolls around, sits up, he's crawling, and he puts his arms out when you go to hold him. It's just little things like that.
He's starting to know you.
Yeah,
because up until a certain page, the father might as well be just
Yeah, he's like, who are you?
Yeah. Or taking naps with him, right? Napping with him, because I have a niece and a nephew, and my brother is the favorite part. Just when just put him on top of me and I take a nap. You know? It's really cool.
It really is. It doesn't happen often. We're pretty strict about his sleeping and napping, making sure he's in his crib.
Okay.
Because we don't want to create a crutch. People are like, I drive around the car to get him to fall asleep. No, my wife was really disciplined about this is what we have to do.
Driving around the car, people do that?
People have so many different
when
tactics.
People when the kid doesn't fall asleep, they put him in the car, they drive around, they fall asleep.
Or they'll rock them for 45 minutes. But now this child is psychologically they're thinking, okay, every time if I just cry, this person is gonna rock me. Yeah. You're creating a crutch for this child, and it's no, look, your crib is where you sleep. Yeah. That's it. Lights go off.
I'll see you in the morning, buddy.
Yeah. And it's you have to be disciplined. And he's such a good sleeper. We put him to bed at 8. He wakes up at 8. It's great.
So basically, you're saying you don't have an Iranian-American wife?
No, no Iranian-American wife. No, yeah. So it's been great. I love it. Fatherhood. People are like, can you love something that much? And you don't realize until you have a child.
Yeah,
you really,
It's funny. I'm always such like a
Crazy.
big advocate for that. I don't even have a child, and I tell people, no, you don't understand.
Yeah.
You have your own child. I don't know what. Like I just really believe in it for some reason.
People
And I
tell you it all the
that-
time, but you
don't.
don't. You don't understand the feeling until
Yeah.
Because you saw your brother or something, or people that changed.
No,
a
in
lot.
general, I
Like
just
Ruth,
know
for
because, like,
example.
you know what? I've almost never met a parent who basically regretted having a child, no matter how tough it was having them. You know, there's something to be said about that because it's not easy having a kid. You know, even if you have people who have the worst kids, they gave them so much trouble. They still they love that kid more than anything else in the world, and they don't regret having that kid. So there has to be a reason for that.
Well, they're not
you
going
know?
to say it.
Yeah. Huh?
If he can't say that, you know what I mean?
No, people.
No,
I'm
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Are you going to have more?
God willing. Yeah, yeah. So right now we've got our hands full with him.
No back-to-backs?
No back-to-backs. We'll separate them a little bit. So I think my siblings, we were all 3 years apart. So if we do the same, I
You're
wouldn't
not
mind
losing
it.
sleep and it's not affecting your games? Anything like that? No.
Thank God, knock on wood, he's a good sleeper. So, but we've been disciplined with it. So all the credit goes to my wife. She read the books. She did all the research. Like this is what
Shout out
works.
to Mrs. Beitashour.
Yeah.
She's the real MVP.
She really is. I mean, she's gonna give me a hard time when I get home because it's gonna be pretty late. But she's poor thing is at home chasing him. She's at home chasing him around all day, and so it's fun when I come home because I just get to be playtime, fun time.
And with that being said, is that our cue,
Right.
Steve?
No, that's not the cue. That's not the cue. I'm just giving her a shout out. I love you. All right.
We have 5 minutes to get to an hour. You want to like throw in? I just want to say like since he just mentioned, we don't want to anger his wife. So if you have any important questions that we want to get to, or if there's something really important that you want to talk about,
Yeah, I
we'd
mean,
love to hear it.
obviously right now, we were talking earlier, being on LAFC, there's 4 games left. So if guys have a chance, people have a chance to come watch, it's one of the best atmospheres. You've mentioned it.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
is. It is.
great
I've been
stadium
there.
in downtown. Go
It's
ahead.
amazing. I this Saturday, this is gonna come out probably after the game, after Saturday. But if you can make it, let's go. It's an amazing stadium, brand new. The fans are crazy. I mean, when they score, it just gets even crazier. But the whole time, just nonstop. It doesn't matter. It doesn't stop. They have the Sunset Lounge on top that like we go to.
There's like a
you know.
pool up
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, it's really good. They have really good food. They have a couple of special places.
I heard the food's really
They
good.
take me by the field. I feel spoiled. You know, I
I
just
love how
go
he said
there.
that. I've heard the food is really good. He's never tried it. The
it's
gladiators
pretty
get no food.
No, it's pretty good. They have really good nachos, napkin. Like they have all kinds of food, and it's just a really good atmosphere. Again, I think it's because, as we mentioned before, that everybody feels like we started it together.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a real LA team, new stadium, new team, everything. You know, so it's just like I think. I don't know. I haven't seen Galaxy fans being that excited, that hyped up the way it is. You know, and that so.
You're in a contract year. What can we do to help you warm the market for you?
You know, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I like to think my play speaks for itself. You know, it sounds like I'm bragging, but if you just look at the resume itself, every team that I've been on has won. And that's just, I'm not making stuff up. I'm not trying to brag. That's just the facts. When I was at San Jose, we won. When I was at Vancouver, we won. When I was at Toronto, it's the only team to ever win a treble. We won, only team to win 3 trophies in a year. And we broke the record for most points in a season. So I'm here now, and we're on record to break that record.
Steven, is there a part of you that thinks that maybe if you do go to Iran and play there might be a chance to be called?
Yeah, for sure. I think
Would
then
that
the
go
excuse
into your decision making?
Possibly. But there's so many different factors, you know. Obviously, the lifestyle change. Obviously, the salary. You know, if everything makes sense and if it's worth it, then absolutely I'll go.
'Cause they won't have to pay for the tickets anymore and all that stuff. And we have a good coach too. Again,
Yeah.
are you familiar with him? I mean, you're more in the world of.
So obviously, he's just got started, so I don't know his tactical styles. I'm familiar with him a little bit, but I don't know.
A lot more offensive.
Yeah, and I would love to go. I would love to get called in. I'm sure I'm still on the list of, hey, here's the eligible players, and I'm doing well with my club team. That's all you can do as a player for the national team. If you play well with your club team, you have a chance of getting called in. If I'm doing horribly on a bad team not playing, there's no way they'll call me. But when you're on the best team in MLS again, this is like 6 years running.
Yeah.
I'm doing something
need
right.
for your position in Iran. Yeah, you know that. You know, like the players that we have right there are not like the superstars, you know? So it seems like you have some decisions to make this summer.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting off season. Yeah. So
Well, we'll support you whatever decision you make.
I appreciate it. You know, I try to make the best out of every situation. So whether it's here, which I would love, or whether it's somewhere else, I'm going to make it my home, and I'm going to do my best for whatever team that is.
Sweet, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you for your energy, brother. Seriously, you have great energy. It's been a privilege to talk to you, and thank you.
Yeah. I hope you're feeling better now. You were really...
I was on the edge.
You were on the
I'm
edge.
still on the edge.
You were really frustrated without not knowing, and I feel like you're like a sense of relief.
Like in some ways, like you're still a hero to me. You know what I mean? Like, you know how it is. You've been a fan, so it's like to have to finally get a chance. And I'm realizing it as I'm talking to you. I'm talking to somebody that's been there, and that's never really happened before. So
And I sense that also when I see some of the fans at the games, all these Iranian-American kids that look up to me, and they're like, "I'm such a big fan of yours. You know, you're living my dream." And
Gives them a belief in themselves.
Yeah, it really
That's
does.
big.
You know, kids here, you know, Iranian Americans who are proud of their culture, that they can play for the Iran national team. They can play for the U.S. national team. You know, I give them a sense of hope, and you know, this is why it's the beautiful game. It really is. And so I appreciate it. I appreciate your comments, and I love what I do, and I'm going to continue to love what I do.
Sweet, man. Yeah.
one love.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, thanks for tuning again. We had a great episode. We're gonna put all the credentials up on the screen there, and Nomad out.
Credentials. I like that.
Credentials. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Credentials.